I want to respond a little bit to Matt's recent video that he put out on the 4th, or yesterday. With the basic question that he was asking being, did something fundamentally change in the reality whenever it supposedly changed? 2008, 2012, whatever. Did something actually fundamentally change, or was it us internally that changed? Or did nothing change? I would like to just give my thoughts on it as I head back to San Francisco to make more money. So, my life has been essentially in 3 phases. There was the growing up phase, being a child, living with the family, and things were so-called normal then for me. I didn't know any different. I had never contemplated anything outside of anything whatsoever. I was a kid, I went to school, I learned what I was supposed to learn, and I tried to have fun, you know. That was the extent of my life. I didn't ever think anything about anything. So that was phase 1. Phase 2 was me being in my relationship with my ex, which started directly after the first phase ended, essentially. I didn't really have much in between time. I decided I was going to have a girlfriend, and then like a week later I had a girlfriend. And then that went on, that relationship went on for 12 years. And in that relationship, my eyes had been opened, or I was in the process of making alarming discoveries about the world or realm that I inhabited. And still, for the most part, nobody wanted to talk about it, or else they wanted to defend the old notion that holds the world as just basically normal. And I was also very suppressed during that 12 years. So I was in the process of researching everything, trying to look into finance, why it's ruling everything, trying to look into my relationship with this world and what I'm supposed to be doing here. And that lasted for 12 years-ish. And the latest phase of my life has been getting out of that relationship and essentially coming on here and talking to everybody about this place that we're in a way that does question everything, like Joe Rogan did before he stopped questioning everything. And I know that I have profoundly changed on an interior. I've changed inside quite a bit. Not only that, but I also went through lots of super trauma as far as experientially being exposed to stuff that just makes the mind either breaks or goes insane, or you weather that and you become stronger on the other side. And I managed to weather it and become stronger. But this third phase is where I'm at currently, and it's only lasted since December 2016. That was when we broke up. 2017. Now we're in the middle of 2018. So it's been like a year and a half. To where I've not been, I've been 100% aware, as far as I'm not buying bullshit stories or jumping on bandwagons or anything like that. I'm just doing my best to be impartially aware of probabilities and theories, because a lot of it is theoretical. the picture is, the water is muddy. It's not like anybody has a whole picture of what's going on. But the fact that there are so many people responding to Matt's channel, responding to my channel, nobody's coming on there and saying, you guys are completely insane, I don't know what you're talking about, you're making all this up. Nobody has. I've had like one or two people try and attack the premises that I'm putting out there, and I'm not even putting out premises. I'm just talking about what I see with my own eyeballs, what I internally feel with this realm situation. I've had very little opposition, and I welcome it. You know, if somebody wants to come on and say, you know, you're full of shit or something, you need to be able to, like a theory or premise or standpoint, if it's it has to be able to withstand attack, essentially. It has to be able to undergo critique and all of these things. And the one thing that has been always obvious to me is that whatever we're talking about here is not baseless conjecture or pure insanity. It's more like the rousing of a sleeper, and it's like the sleeper is being woken up to this reality that has been going on in a sleeping fashion this whole time. So it's almost like you wake up and nobody else is doing anything because they're all sleeping. So having that awakeness puts you in a very small tribe. And as far as all the stuff, you know, it's all secretive. All the government stuff is secretive. And there are so many theories, so many theories as to what this place is, exactly why we're here. How do you explain all the atrocities that humans have seen and witnessed and participated in throughout his stories? Why war is even? It takes such a level of sleeping to not question our general makeup as a society. It takes you have to be in bed with two-party system, you have to be in bed with blind patriotism. You can't, you know, at a certain point you can't do that anymore, and that's where I'm at. And as far as did something happen or not, I think something happened. I'm more along the lines of that we are it all already happened. That's my personal take on it, is that the physicality experiment has already started and finished in the same second. All of it just splayed out, you know, it's all just there. And we're able to sort of, as consciousness, we're able to go to a certain point within that potentiality matrix of physicality, which we're doing that. I'm inhabiting one of the lines, or the single tracks. But I think that they exist forward and backward, and I don't think this idea of evolution, or like, you know, the idea that I feel like all the technology is there, all the super high technology is there. It's not visible, but it's there, and it's used in certain it's just not visible to us. It's not available to us. This is how I feel. Like those fires, for instance, the Sonoma fires seemed very obviously like some direct energy weapon, very, very precise laser-like, super intense heat, all these things, and nobody talked about it because everybody's asleep or something. To me, everything points to this being either an experiment, some sort of like that book, the Dosadi experiment, something like that, or simply some dream state. Because once you stop applying the meaning nodes into your life, like once you kind of exit the beast system, which is just school and like corporate job system, wife and kids, go to church, all that, like the beast system has like these nodes that if you're outside of that structure, then you're able to withdraw yourself past any meaning, anything. Like you're in your present moment, you can simply look around and you see directly and clearly that there isn't a meaning that's inherent or a reason for you that's inherent, aside from the fact that you're a human and you need to breathe and eat, and there are certain survival things and stuff that you must do, but the meaning structure doesn't seem to be supplied once you hop on outside of the beast system. And I feel like that's what some of us are coming to terms with now. And just simply, we're just exploring around this place, like seeing what's going on, seeing if anybody's in charge really, or if it's just some automatic machine system, machine mind thing. If maybe AI is in charge, I don't know. I just know that the only thing that this realm requires of me is to produce money. That's the only thing. It doesn't require anything else of me whatsoever. It doesn't really care what I do outside of that. And even my own family, like, I would like to take a more active role in exploring this reality and say, like, look, you guys, what if we're in a choose your own adventure thing and we forgot about it, you know? And shouldn't we be doing adventure stuff? Or should we be sitting here doing the only thing that the realm seems to want, which is make money? You know? Like, I'm on that side. I want to actually do stuff. I'm interested in exploring the realm with the other people that are actually awake. And my family, they don't want to do it. Most people don't want to do it. I think it's hard to... Life is just fucking weird. It's crazy. And it's also intimidating to take this idea that I'm here, I'm alive, and I can do something. Like I can literally do something that's outside of what Matt is talking about as the script. And the script is obviously there. It's there for your greater position in society, and you even have an inner script for your sort of day-to-day activities. And to see the possibility of jumping outside, looking beyond that script, and introducing some drastic change into your life is traumatic for some people, for most people to think about. But I feel a drive to do that very thing because the realm doesn't care what I'm doing. Like, it's not nurturing to me in the sense that I would feel an environment should be nurturing to its child. It's not nurturing to me like that. The society isn't nurturing to me like that as a whole. You see what I'm saying? It's like being transplanted to a world that doesn't know it exists and doesn't know that I exist. And I have to make effort to do stuff in this realm. It's not naturally built in. And once you look outside of the scripting and you try to stay connected with people, it's not really working because they're operating within that scripting. And they don't even necessarily know how to respond to you if you do something outside of that. And I'm talking about the first step outside of it. I'm not talking about like once you've really gotten in there and you're hunkering down or you're exploring out or you're doing whatever you're doing. The regular people stop even being able to detect that you're there or that you're doing something. I do feel that the reality is supposed to be a co-creative place, and we are supposed to wake up from our slumber at some point, and this is what you're supposed to do. This is what I believe, okay? If you don't like the script, you must do something yourself to be out of the script. And since it's going to be lonely, you have to find people that are willing to join you in doing something outside of the script. And a way to do this is, one way to do this is get a storybook or something. Like, get a science fiction book. Not the so-called fiction, not the so-called non-fiction, because that seems to be all the most boring drivel possible. Find your most favorite storybook that has fascinating plot lines and beautiful things happening and all this, right? And do your own life like that. You know, go off on wild adventures. Go find your soulmate or whatever. Like, all these, you're supposed to be doing all this stuff. This human life is the ability for us wearing the meat suits to actually become characters in our storybook. That's what we're supposed to be doing. If you're not doing that and you're simply feeding the beast mind money thing, which we don't fully necessarily understand, where we're getting little grips here and there, but if that's all you're doing, you're like abusing the very premise of coming here in the first place, which is to enact an awesome, like, crazy sci-fi hero's journey or something, you know? Like, it's supposed to be something like that, and that's just an outline of it. I'm not saying it's easy to do or something like that. Of course, it's hard to do, but the possibilities, the potential, like Marty was talking about, the potentialities. What are your potentialities as a living, existing being? And do you want to just simply do what Beast Mind Realm wants you to do, which is put money in computer? Like, that's all it wants. It doesn't want anything else from you. It's not asking anything from you besides that you earn money. Of course, if you look to sort of the atrocities side of things, like deforestation, the sort of mass level extinction of species that we're like putting the planet to by the dumb corporate bullshit, like if you look to all of that, you might see that, well, maybe this planet or this plane, realm, whatever, that's supporting us needs us to actually do something to stop the looting, pillaging, raping, and all this stuff of the natural resources. Maybe you could say that's what the realm is also asking from you, although it's not asking you directly. There is a sense of absolute neutrality to my like lived, current moment-to-moment lived experience of this realm. And the only thing that really, like I said before, the only thing that really is making movement to me, that I feel a direct urge that I must fulfill this, the only thing is the money thing. Nothing else at all. And it's very, this realm is very much like sleeping but being awake at the same time. It's a dreamlike sort of an existence, and half of the people are like, not half, a very small percentage are like me, that you're an aware sleeper. So I'm aware that I'm in some sort of dream state, but I also, that being that I'm aware of it means that I can do something and I can change stuff in how my existence comes out. The other 99%, or whatever the percentage is, are sleeping sleepers. I'm an awake sleeper. That's why, to me, this realm is absolutely quiet. To me, literally nothing ever happens here. I see. I'm not talking about people going by. People are always, there's movement that appears to be happening. To me, like, the idea of being a creative being is either too scary for the people that are the awake sleepers, or it's just maybe maybe the existence got tired of doing that. You know, maybe it got tired of being creative through its beings, doing something different in there, and it's fine to let everything be still and silent, even though it looks like it's in motion. I don't know, you know. I do know that I would like to do something. You know, I would like to join somebody else and have an adventure, but a lot of people don't necessarily understand what that could possibly mean, or I don't know. To me, the realm is mostly still like like apocalypse already happened and we're in some afterlife or something. It's different. It's a different feeling than I remember. I remember something else that wasn't like this. So to answer your question, Matt, I feel like something has changed, but we don't know exactly what it is, and we're working out the kinks right now. That's all. I hope everybody's doing well in their dream state. I hope the awake sleepers are doing well, and I hope the sleeping sleepers are doing well, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.